determination to change the nation. I'm manifesting the truth. Back in the booth to give you the messages that's been channeling right through me. No, I'm not Jesus, although my spirit is great. I'm eating my food without a plate, escaping this place through my meditations. New life begun when I reloaded the gun and realized where I was from was not too far from the sun, like somewhere close by the moon. Now I'm connected like Zoom. On walks of life that ever lived, call me like out of the blue. So I just pass it to you, right through your speakers with clues. And if you choose to free your mind, then you will have all the tools. But I can't make you take it and shake it and mentally break yourself out. Cause freeing your mind without a doubt is something you have to try out. But once you see the light, your might, and all the power you've had, then you have reached the fifth dimension and you can brighten your path. But others who choose to follow the red pills, it's harder to swallow. Or you can wallow in your sorrows, feeling all empty and hollow. The only way you'll see the truth is if it's starting with you. So please stop lying to yourself, start being truthful to you. The only way you'll see the truth is if it's starting with you. So please stop lying to yourself, start being truthful to you, to you. Hey, what's going on with my peoples today? North O. I got some special guests in the building today. Let me just see here. How everybody doing? Y'all chime in. Let me see if okay, I got 3 hearts, so they can hear me. Everybody's set. Let me see. He said, send them the link. I'll send you another one. Let me see here. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to be unpacking North Omaha today. Man, we got a lot to unpack. Some of it is going to be some examples that I just wanted to point out to y'all. We got the update of Mr. Levi Blake and the search efforts for him. And yeah, and we're going to point out some stuff about the unchecked OHA. Because, yeah, they went so long unchecked. Good evening. Hey, Miss Wanda. Hey, Cynthia. How y'all doing? Hey, daughter. Hey, wife. I see y'all. Okay. They popping right on in. So, yeah. I'm going to wait for this one person to jump in here. So, our guest today is going to be Shonda Richardson, who is the daughter of Levi Blake. And then we also have, of course, Jahi Shabazz that dropped all the jewels on us last Sunday. And then we got Royal Michael. He'll be joining us. So, yeah, hope y'all ready. We're going to unpack some stuff, and we're going to get cracking. So, first, I'm going to start with my cousin, Lamarantae Swift. So, if you didn't know, he was shot and killed in October. And when he was shot and killed in October, not even maybe 2 months later, we had the Douglas County Sheriff and the Omaha Police Officer Association president decided to use his image for a political statement. Okay. So this one was from the Omaha Police Officer Association. They shared the sheriffs. So this is from Aaron Hansen. And, you know, I don't care about the context, right? Marmar wasn't even dead for a month before they started using his picture, because this is election season. And so what they wanted to do was use his picture to try to make political statements about juvenile justice reform, right? So this was one. And there's another one from the Omaha Police Officer Association right here. And so, yeah, this one was an attack on Marianne Borgeson, where they put her picture next to Marmar picture, and basically saying that she needs to be more serious on cracking down on juveniles getting in trouble, and put a shirt that she had that had nothing to do with this crime or nothing to do with Marmar's death. But on the shirt, it said, "I never dreamed I'd grow up to be a super cool commissioner, but here I am killing it." And they tried to say that, which is totally disrespectful to Marmar and our family. What they didn't know is, although his last name is Swift, that's my cousin. His father is a Davis. My father is a Davis. His grandmother, mother, and my father are brother and sister. Okay. So that's how we related. And what y'all don't know is this clown, Miss Marianne, not her being the clown. Marianne actually was in she was in this video for Mr. Blake. See? And so and it's crazy because here, let me bring it in so y'all can hear it. What's crazy is she was in the video for Mr. Blake, basically asking the community to do more, not the community, but the police to do more for Mr. Blake's disappearance. Okay. And so when that happened, I think that they were upset the fact that she, being the commissioner, I just sent you the link, Jahi. Check your messenger or your text message. So she's the Douglas County Commissioner, Marianne is. And so she was actually in that video that we made for the community, saying that they wanted the police to do more to find Mr. Blake. Okay. Which I didn't see nothing wrong with what she said, but I'm gonna let y'all listen to it real quick. And then you tell me what you think. Okay. Because like I said, I didn't see nothing wrong with what she said, but I think part of that has something to do with it. But plus, it was just very distasteful for the Omaha Police Officer Association to use his image for a political statement.
All your boys in blue, bring him home. It's time. His family need peace and answers.
Asking the Omaha Police Department to please do more to help locate Levi Blake.
Hi, this is a plea for our community and law enforcement to please keep the information and picture of Mr. Levi Blake up front and center in our community. Mr. Blake is 80 years old and has been missing for well over 40 days. He has dementia, and his family is pleading for our community and law enforcement to ratchet up our efforts to find him. So please do whatever you can to help locate Mr. Blake. Thank you.
Okay. So that was her contribution to the video, even though she's the Douglas County Commissioner. And so, like I said, I didn't see nothing wrong with that. She just she was participating in the video, just like all the other, maybe I think 30 or 40 people. And so, yeah, they decided to do a political attack against her and use his image as part of their political attack. And so it's very distasteful. And like she said, it was wrong for them to associate her with his death when she didn't have nothing to do with it. So what ended up happening was, of course, me being me, I contacted the Omaha Police Officer Association by phone, by email. Nobody was responding. But then I was able to get a meeting set up. Tamika set the meeting up, and it was me, Jahi, Tamika, Willie Barney, the Omaha Police Officer Association president, who was responsible for the post, and also Lavelle Wells was there, and the sheriff was there. Okay, and so initially, me being me, I fired back with my own stuff, and it was this. I took a picture of Anthony Connor, who's the Omaha Police Officer Association, and I put him being unveiled by Scooby-Doo and the gang as a Black Klansman. I did that. They weren't too happy with that. And before the meeting, I got a phone call saying, well, Sherman, it was brought to our attention that you made a post using Anthony Connor's picture saying that he was a Klansman, and now they don't know if they want to have the meeting. But you used his picture to make a political statement. So I don't care that you're the Omaha Police Officer Association president. I don't care. Don't use my family's picture, or anybody in the Black community for that matter, especially a 16-year-old child who wasn't even in the grave 2 months, for your political statement. Okay? Now, if y'all think I'm wrong, somebody say something in the chat, because you used his picture, so I used yours. Okay? So in the meeting, we had to talk, and basically what they were trying to do was say, well, the point of it was we need to have this talk about juvenile justice. I'm not trying to hear none of that, because of course we can have the talk about juvenile justice, but you don't have to include his picture as a part of your statement about juvenile justice. That's unnecessary, right? And he's a 16-year-old child. You didn't get consent from the family. So a lot of people thought that it was Marianne who did it, but Marianne had nothing to do with it. It was Tony Connors. It was this clown, right? So in that meeting, they offered to apologize. Yeah, and like Cynthia said, no parent consent. But so what Tony Connors did is he did call Marmar's mom after the fact, after I was already leaving messages and stuff, to say, oh, is it okay if I use, and try to break it down like he's advocating for her and Marmar, because the person that ended up being charged with the murder was a juvenile. And so I understand, but at the same time, you didn't have to use his image. And so she didn't know, and when he did that, not only did he do the letter, but then when the community got upset, or I got upset, or multiple people, and thought it was very distasteful, he doubled down with another letter, basically with this false apology that was just being a smartass, right? So in the meeting, they tried to explain to me what they were saying, and even the sheriff, he brought his printout of his post to show me that he just said Marmar was a victim and he was trying to stick up for him. But we don't need that from you. Yeah, and you're right. The phone call was after the fact, Cynthia. It was after the fact that you've already used his image, and then it was on the news, and you had it on your page. Everybody thought it was so funny, right? So we in this meeting, and I had to take my glasses off, and I told him, don't ever use my family or any Black person in this community as a political statement for your campaign bullshit. We ain't trying to hear it, right? So Willie Barney proposed that since they used his image publicly, that they should publicly apologize. And they agreed to publicly apologize. So the sheriff agreed to publicly apologize, and so did Anthony Connor. But guess what, y'all? The apology never came publicly. He apologized in that room to me. They both did. But you didn't publicly apologize. No, they didn't at all. And that is where we have the problem, because You didn't publicly apologize, but you publicly used his image. Now, what they did do was go back and change the post and took Marmar's picture out. However, this sheriff, this Saltine sheriff, he still used his name in his post, basically saying, out of respect for the family, but I still want to just say Lamarantae was the victim. But I said, don't use his image or his name, you fucker. And he did it anyway, okay? So the reason why I wanted to point this out to y'all is because I want y'all to understand what we're up against and the type of games they're playing. We're living in North Omaha where none of these people are ever used to nobody calling them on their bullshit. And they think that they can siphon racist stuff through Anthony Connor because he's black, and then we just ain't gonna say nothing, because this is not the first time he's done things. Now, I just seen him at the Republican convention. And he like, we cool. He came in acting like we was gonna fight, talking about we cool, right? Nigga, to a certain extent, because guess what? You still didn't offer the apology. You didn't do the apology that you said you were going to do. But at the same time, I wasn't really expecting it. It was Willie Barney who proposed it. But then it goes back to show you, even though Willie worked with the police, this shows you the lack of respect that they have for you, brother. Because he told them, if y'all apologize to Sherman and his family, maybe we might have a chance of working together with him. But he never issued the apology. Okay? And neither did the sheriff. All right? So we can't still pretend that the police or anybody associated with the police is going to respect us as a community, because they don't. That was a complete disrespect. And then to not want to apologize or think you didn't do nothing wrong. And like I said, Mary Ann was in that video. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but she didn't say nothing wrong in that video, y'all. She just was talking about Mr. Blake. Okay? So, I mean, when we sit and think about it, of course, I believe that we need the police to a certain extent. We got the Black Agenda Alliance, who are perfect people for security. Shout out to Shawnee for having them at her event the other day. And like she said, it was the first time she ever had a peace of mind. Okay. And so, man, it was just mad. It was crazy that they did that without being remorseful for a 16-year-old child that lost his life. Okay. So this is what we're talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about when I'm saying the disrespect of these people, and they don't care. We have to make sure that we are advocating for ourselves and being there for ourselves. It's just pitiful. So I want to move right into the thing with OHA. So we've been on their neck for some time now, and I want to show y'all some of these pictures, okay? It's terrible. So I went into OHA Florence Towers one day, and there was a hole cut in the wall, and inside that wall was this mold. Okay. It's about 70% of the people in that building that have breathing problems. All right. So, and this was on the second floor. Okay. When I went into the building and showed this to the manager, she confirmed to me that there has been a leak in that building for 8 months, running from the 10th floor. Do y'all hear me? 10th floor. That means what? Anybody know? That means there's mold from the 10th floor all the way down inside the wall of Florence Towers. This ain't no regular mold. Okay? So then you go back and wonder, why all these people have breathing problems in OHA. These are our elders. These are low-income people, but affordable housing shouldn't mean that we have to live in this kind of condition. And the reason why we've been on OHA butt is because it's gone unchecked for years. If you're from Omaha, Nebraska, you know how those towers have been for years. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but New York Housing Authority got investigated by the Federal Department of Justice. And they arrested over 70 employees for fraudulent stuff going on in those towers where they wasn't fixing nothing. Okay? And they was pocketing money. Okay? That's what was going on in New York. So imagine what's happening here. And this is what I figured out, okay? Man, there's a game they're playing with the elders. And if you got somebody in these towers, I need y'all to listen closely. Please listen, okay? Work orders. We talk about work orders. So what they do is they have the residents call in work orders, and they have the residents put in work orders online on this thing called Rent Cafe, okay? And so what they do, because by law, technically, after 14 days of not responding to a work order, then the resident has the right to not only call the city and file a complaint, but they can put in the necessary paperwork to withdraw their rent because you're not holding up to the contract of doing the maintenance that you're supposed to do in the apartment, right? That's what's supposed to happen. How many been successful in contacting the Black board members of OHA Authority? None of them are responding to calls or emails. That's right. That's right. And they're not going to respond to calls and emails. So the point I'm saying is what they've been doing is they go in and they delete the work orders in the correct amount of time by law. They're deleting them before the 14 days. Actually, they're deleting some of those work orders within the same day. And they never go out and do the work. But I'm thinking that they're still billing. Because if you get the work order, you can bill for it. Who's getting that kickback? Okay? Who's getting that? Listen, they are playing those tenants. So what I've been doing behind the scenes is going to these towers to talk to the tenants about doing work orders on paper. So you can keep a copy and then turn in a copy. That way you have your, they're passing inspections, Latanya, because when they know the inspections is coming, they're picking apartments that they know is not going to have nothing to show. That's what they're doing. We need an outside auditor to come in that's not biased to nothing and without no announcement and just go in and do these inspections. But what they've learned is that the tenants, for one, most of them don't even know how to log into the computer or do an email. Okay? They're not. They don't know how to do it. And most of the tenants, after a while, they just give up because it's been like that for that long. Mr. Rogers said, I have left messages for Tony Veland, Cammie Watkins, and Daniel Goodwin thinking they will respond to a fellow community member. Good luck, brother. And yeah, you got to have a paper trail. So the reason why I've been handing them written work orders is so that way we can have that paper trail, Jamila. And then that way, once the 14 days hit, we can go to the city, because what the city is saying is we don't have no complaints on record from any tenants about the work orders and about neglected work, which is a lie. Okay. But it could be true if you've already tricked them into calling in and setting up these false work orders that you have control over deleting or acting like the phone call never existed. And that's what they're doing. They got the tenants calling to act like the work orders never existed. So if you call in, It's not doing you no good to call in. So what you have to do is this. You have to do the paperwork order, and then after the 14 days, you have to call the insect and rodent infestation number and file a complaint, and this mold lab number and file your complaint. Okay? Because when you do that, then you have something on record. Okay? Brother Roger said, what role does Sal Isaka play as Director of Residential Initiatives and Public Housing Engagement? Good question. I would say we show up to OHA and we ask those questions. Okay? That's a good question. Because clearly, people are not doing their job. And not only that, we've had so many people call and complain or put in these work orders only for them to be ignored and deleted. And they're doing it all on purpose, y'all. It's all on purpose. So I want to show y'all something that I recently had to get from a tenant. And I'm sorry, but I got to show it to you because y'all have to see this, okay? You have to see it. And it's not good. Man. And this was from a Sudanese brother who lives in an OHA unit tower. It's not a tower. It's his apartment in one of those. It said they blocked him from going live on Facebook for 30 days. Send the link to his email. Wow. It's in so they have those duplexes over there off of 30th in like Bedford or something like that right there. And so what we have is him putting in work orders to have his place exterminated, and they've been ignoring it. Okay. So I'm gonna let y'all see this, okay, real quick. And like I said, it's pretty nasty, but y'all gotta see it. We gotta see the truth. Okay. So what he said is they're continuously bringing these little white things there to say that they're putting those down just so they can see how bad the infestation is. But clearly, you don't need the white thing to see that the infestation is bad. That's usually what exterminators do to try to gauge the situation. But if you open up the drawers with nothing in it, clearly you've seen the infestation. Okay. And this is a Sudanese brother who he doesn't know his rights, and he's paying $945 for this unit. Okay. $945. It don't make no sense. All over the knives. Okay. There's another empty drawer. And I know people gonna be judgmental and say this and say that, but when you don't understand the system and you come here, like we've been dealing with it, we understand the system. We wouldn't allow it to happen. But for him, he reached out to me because he didn't know what else to do. And he's been seeing me advocate. But when he reached out to me, of course, first thing I did was not only did we get the videos, but then I turned around and contacted OHA personally, which now they're going to be sending an exterminator out, yeah, to spray, but then he wants to move. So, Jahi, what's your, let me see what he say this email was. And he do got kids there. And they're terrified to be there. Okay. And it's totally unacceptable. And you're right. The landlords are getting over big time, because you know how much OHA getting? $86 million to take care of their residents. You're right. Those bugs do make you sick. $86 million. Shouldn't nobody have to live like that at all. At all. Let me grab your email real quick. Oh, here it is right here. I did contact Sal, and he was one of the people. I contacted OHA, period. And he was one of the people who came to meet me there and then offered to move him or to spray professionally. Yeah. She said that looks beyond an exterminator. Yeah. He's worried about the people coming and saying that it's unsanitary and taking his children. He's a single father. He has a great job. And he pays $945 a month for that place. He's worried that if it becomes public where his face is shown and his actual address is shown, that they're going to get him. And like Miss Wanda said, they refuse to let the tenants out of their contract. So when I talked to him, he said that when he's been trying to ask them, can he move, they keep telling him no, he can't break his lease. You know, Malik, you asking some great questions, brother, but the people you're mentioning, they're not for us, even though they look like us. And that's what Brother Shabazz was talking about, is removing these people. You said Keith Station and Tommy Warren from the mayor's office. Do you know that Keith Station and Tommy Warren from the mayor's office came to a meeting where we was putting up a historical marker for Vivian Strong, for my cousin, and she sent them to the meeting to say she don't want the historical marker placed on nothing that's owned by the city because it's a police involved shooting. And when will it stop? She said Zachary Bear here's family, then they gonna want a marker. All these people, like, why would you say that instead of maybe y'all should stop shooting people? But no, you send two black faces to our meeting to tell us that you don't want Vivian's historical marker placed on city property. That's what she said. And so instead of putting it in the location where it happened at, which is down there where the old projects used to be, we ended up having to use a different location to place the historical marker, because Carol, which is Vivian's sister, my cousin Carol, she said she don't want nothing from the city, and if that's how they gonna be, her words was fuck them. We'll put it somewhere else, okay? But we're talking about a 14-year-old girl, innocent, shot in the back of the head, and you don't want her historical marker placed on city property because it was a police-involved shooting. So here we are 50-something years later, and you still don't want to take responsibility for shooting and killing an innocent girl that changed the dynamic of this city. That was the worst race riot we ever had, and it burnt down 24th Street, our place of commerce. And since then, it's been a punishment of North Omaha. Why? Because it's never been rebuilt. We've never had a business district rebuilt in Omaha since they killed Vivian. And instead of the mayor trying to do something, back then the mayor, Gene Leahy, who they built the stupid thing after, he doubled down on law and order and just started arresting a bunch of black people. Y'all have to know the history. Because that is why when you drive down 24th Street, and anybody that was born when I was 77, I was born in 76. After 1969, Omaha, the North Omaha community never returned to its glory days of businesses like you got in South Omaha, like you got in Dundee, like you got in Blackstone, like you got downtown. We don't have a district where our commerce and our money circulates. Because why? If we do that, then we won't need to beg. So what OHA have been able to do is cover it up. But what I want to show y'all is this, and I'm going to bring Brother Jahi Shabazz on because, hey, brother, how you doing?
Hotep family.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to bring you in. We on the OHA part still. Gwen said, I'm upset that OHA won't fix the buzzers in the towers. Tenants have to go downstairs to let their guests in. Many elder tenants are sick, pushing wheelchairs, and they shouldn't have to do that. It's a violation of the American Disability Act. Right. And actually, they're violating their rights, the tenant rights that they have by not addressing these work orders. Okay. So what I want to show y'all is something here. Here we go. Let me pull this back in. Remove. It's in there. All right. So this is a story from 2009. Let me make sure. Yeah, 2009. OHA properties go lower with HUD. Okay. 2009. OHA calls in extra help to fight bed bugs 9 years ago. This is 9 years ago.
Wow.
Okay. So this is not brand new. It's unchecked. We're talking about unchecked public housing. It's not new, y'all. And actually, Kaylee did a story at Underwood recently. Okay. And when she did that story, she uncovered more of the same thing where we're talking about people being ate up by the bed bugs. See that? See them welts on this brother? Those are bed bug bites. So 2009, 9 years ago again, and now we on their butt and we're not going away. Why? Because we can't. This is 2023 last year at Evans Tower. So you didn't have stories on Evans, Underwood, right? Florence, Jackson. Then the duplexes. When do we as a community be a voice for these elders? And like Brother Malik said, time for a lawsuit. They only respond to litigation and bad publicity. You right, brother. Brother Michael, did you get the link? He said a lot of policy and procedures that are on the books isn't being implemented due to the firing of utility workers. Now they are contracted out of the work without oversight. That's right. HUD did give federal funding to rebuild the 24th Street business development. The funds came years ago. We don't know what happened to it. See, and we having these conversations, y'all, but now we got to move past conversations. That's why we got the lion here. That's why we're waking up the lions. That's why we have to have these conversations and bring everybody's attention, because I know y'all working, y'all. I know everybody's in struggle mode. I know everybody's trying to take care of their household. But what are we leaving for our children? What are we leaving for our grandchildren? Because if we're not going to check it, who's going to check it? And I hate to say it, but Generation X, the ones who wasn't raised on the internet and not brainwashed, we're going to be one of the main ones that have to do the pushing, because everybody else is docile. They don't know what to do. Okay? Got to change that.
You know what else this indicates, Brother Sherman?
Uncovered the Omaha house.
Yes, sir.
It also indicates that the money is being misappropriated. They're moving money around in other areas. There's stealing going on.
Stealing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Again, where we talk about the misappropriation of the funds, the billionaires getting rich off of the coupons of the Black community. This is exactly what we're talking about. Check your inbox, Mike. I made a group chat with me, you, and Kasim in it, and there's the link. But I can send it to your phone too, brother. Give me a second. And like, if y'all missed that podcast from last week, go back and watch it, where Brother Shabazz brought the receipts on how they're using our crime statistics, our data, for coupons to get money from the federal government. And then when they come in for us, it's being hijacked by who?
The billionaires.
Billionaires. It's being hijacked by the billionaires. And when do it stop? Who's going to make it stop? It got to be us. Because everybody else is sitting back because they getting crumbs. They getting sprinkled crumbs. And so they don't do nothing about it. I just sent you the link, brother. They getting crumbs because they didn't, so they going to be quiet because they want their crumbs. And like the brother showed last week, they gave every Black business $50,000, regardless of what your project was. You could have had $1 million project that would have changed the dynamic of North Omaha, but they just still gave you $50,000. That was it. Okay? This is the game that's being played. Okay? So either we're going to wake up or we're going to stay asleep, and then our children and grandchildren will have to deal with the same stuff. Because like I showed y'all, 9 years ago it was addressed. A few years ago it was addressed. Last year it was addressed. How many times we going to address it without nobody doing nothing about it? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Spencer. How they left that wide open. Okay? That wasn't on no accident. That was on purpose. Because 2 miles, within 2 miles of Spencer, where they left that tour up, it was over 80 registered sex offenders. Okay? Over 80. And you leave an abandoned building wide open for anybody to be in it, and for anybody to, when I went through there, it was a bunch of homeless people, a bunch of children playing in there, and it was very, very bad. And actually, when I went in there I had to end up going there because I was looking for Mr. Blake, and our search took us to that area. And when we got over there, I realized that they were still open, and I was I ain't gonna say completely surprised, but I was definitely surprised that not only it wasn't no gate up, but it was just still wide open for anybody to be in there. And not only that, they had started the development. So this is the east side. They had already started developing the west side, OHA, without even tearing these down or putting a fence up. So Now you just waiting for something to happen, right? And then these so-called black leaders are gonna come and they'll do a press conference and they'll say, well, we have programs in place that can deal with this stuff. They're creating their photo ops, okay? And Miss Janelle said, yeah, I believe someone is stealing the money. Millions that they received should have been more than enough to help the low-income family in housing. Are the government proposal for funding made public? I don't know. Is it? Are the government proposal funding made public? I don't know. But that's how they left it. And so after we did all that raising hell, right? We had to do all that. And then finally, we got this. They finally tore it down. But they wasn't going to do it until we said something. And it didn't take 100 people to get together and come say something. It was a few people that had the influence and not being afraid. You can't be afraid to speak on what's the truth, okay? So now it's tore down. We're not coming off of OHA. Just because you tore this down, we ain't going to be, oh, yeah, y'all tore it down. Finally, no. Because you still got this issue with the towers and your properties. I talked to a lady who been having issues with her property for so long. She called me like, what can I do? And I showed her the proper paperwork that she can do legally for her stuff because it's terrible. They also accused the community of stealing doors, copper pipes, etc. And she right, I did catch a white man over there with his plates off his truck. So he knew what he was doing. He took the plates off and he was over there cutting down pipes and cutting down. And when I confronted him, he just like, oh, well, they're going to tear this down anyway. So what difference do it make? Oh, it makes a difference. But they're accusing us of doing that. They're saying that the community was doing that, which was a lie. And I had to go in front of city council and tell them, you're lying. Here's a picture of a white man doing it with a portable saw, cutting it down, just in broad daylight. Okay?
He's still in copper.
And still in copper. You're talking about an unchecked OHA. And Omaha has got millions. Basically, in Omaha, everybody should be living good. They should have a timeline use of all the money that they give to help HUD. Yeah, that would be ideal. But like Brother Shabazz said, they're doing it like they're passing the money through all of their friends that's in the positions to receive it and hide it behind nonprofits and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's a game. When do we stop playing the game? Because guess what? These people are elected by us, for one. We outnumber them. And the power is in the people, not the elected positions, y'all. It's not in that. So we're going to move to the next thing because I could be on OHA all day. Okay. And I'm going to bring in my sister that's been standing by, Shonda.
Hey.
Hey, Shonda. And I'm bringing her in. This is Levi Blake's daughter. Okay. And I want to give y'all just a brief update of where we at with Levi and what we're doing so far and what already has been done, and actually at the beginning of how we ended up in this place that we at right now. Okay. I need y'all to understand that there was an EMA criteria, the Endangered Missing Advisory, that they're supposed to use when anybody goes missing. Okay. Elder, it's called a silver alert. It was established by the State Patrol of Nebraska. Okay. When Mr. Blake went missing, not only did they not use the silver alert, but they said he did not qualify because he was not under 24-hour care. Okay. And when we went back, because you can't just tell us something and think we just gonna buy what you say. We went back and looked at the criteria, okay? And they say, do the circumstances meet the criteria for an Amber Alert? No, because we know that's the kids and kidnapped, okay? It says the person missing under unexplained, involuntary, or suspicious circumstances runaway or suicidal parties. No. But is the person believed to be in danger because of age, health, cognitive or physical disability, environmental or weather conditions? Okay. Mr. Blake had dementia. He has dementia. It was hot. So there's two qualifications. All right. Is he in the company of a potentially dangerous person or some factor that may put the person at risk of serious bodily injury or death? So yes, yes, and yes. So which means that silver alert should have been used on Levi Blake. Not only did they not use the silver alert, they didn't alert the community that he was missing until 10 days after he was missing. 10 days. Okay. This is the game they playing with us. And what we found out today is going to blow your mind. But before we get into that, I want to get into this right here. All right. I have some documents that I'm going to show y'all. Okay. So these are Mr. Blake's medical records from the morning meds and evening meds that they were supposed to be giving him while he was in the care of ENOA. Yeah, I'm putting them out there. Fuck them. Okay. ENOA was supposed to be sending people to administer his medicine. When me and Shonda and Terry went to Mr. Blake's apartment, this is what we found. You see that at the top, it say July morning meds, and the date stopped on the 27th of July. What does that mean? Did y'all stop giving him his medicine in July? He went missing in August, but did you stop giving him his medicine in July? And ENOA, if you are responsible for this, why wasn't you making sure that he was getting his medication on time? Okay? Because there was no chart ever started for August. Okay? We're not making it up. We got the proof. And not only was there no chart started for August, when we talked to the lady at the building, she said when she checked the camera for August 17th, Mr. Blake was never seen on August 17th in the building, in the apartment, leaving the apartment, outside, in the stairwell, on the elevator, nowhere. He was not seen leaving the building. Okay? So ENOA dropped the ball. The police did not go back and check for this video until after I brought it up that the lady told me that she didn't have him on tape. And they got a doorbell camera of some old man walking up the street on August 17th from the direction of Mr. Blake's apartment. But how is that him if he was not on tape leaving from the place that they say he originated from? So we don't think that's even him on the doorbell camera. And I actually think Mr. Blake was missing before he was reported missing. Okay? And Mr. Blake had a 60-year-old girlfriend. And the 60-year-old girlfriend's son was his caregiver. Okay? Neither one of them has ever helped with a search. Neither one of them has reached out to contact the family. Okay? But the police won't look at it no other way because they're convinced that that's him on the tape. But you know why they won't look at it no other way? Because they know they dropped the ball by not following up on the silver alert and by not getting the footage to see when he actually went missing. The lady said the police came and she told him he wasn't on tape on the 17th. They didn't think to look on the 16th, the 15th, the 14th, and go back until they actually saw Mr. Blake on tape. And so by the time I brought it up, and I had to go to the police station and actually sit there and say, I'm not leaving until you tell me what you got. Show me the video. That's when they told me that they never had the video of him leaving. So this description that they gave of his clothes he was wearing, that's not even accurate. Because there's no video footage of him leaving. It was all a lie. So where is Mr. Blake? Okay? This is what they don't want you to know. Where is he then? Because if he's not on tape leaving his apartment, in this video, you can't tell if that's him walking past, but how would he be walking past if he never left his place? And why is ENOA not responding to me? Because when I went to them, they threatened to call the police on me because I'm questioning him about his med chart. And they said, Mr. Wells, if you come here, we're calling the police on you. They didn't know I was already sitting in the parking lot when I was on the phone. I was there already. Okay? So, I know the community, y'all ask a lot of questions, but I'm telling you, we've been so thorough on looking for him and discovering this. The police still won't look at it no other way. We tried to get them to do a Crime Stopper thing where they will host a reward for him. They wouldn't do it. Okay. We tried to get them to even just host the award if we raise the money. They wouldn't do it. We tried to get them to call the caregiver and the girlfriend in for a lie detector test. They won't do it. Then it started making me question them because y'all know in Alabama or one of them states in the South, there was a woman whose son was missing for 6 months and they kept telling her they didn't know where he was. And come to find out, they buried him in an unmarked grave. And when they dug him up, they found 217 other people that the police had buried without telling the family. Okay? And the reason why I'm pointing all this stuff out to y'all, I want y'all to understand this is not La La Land. We are up against demons that has no regard for human life. Okay? Now, the caregiver and the girlfriend is on my page, so they're going to see this live, and I really don't care at this point. You know, I've asked them questions. I can't get straight answers. And so now at this point, I don't care. If this was any elder, if it was any one of y'all missing, I would be the same passionate about any one of y'all missing. Okay? Now, let me show you what they did do for a man in Iowa. All right? I'm going to show you what they did for a man in Iowa. Because this is like a big old slap in the face. Okay? And I told Brother Shabazz about this earlier, and it even blew his mind. So, you know, if it blew his mind, then y'all gonna really be like, what the heck? Okay. So let me show you this because I'm not making none of this stuff up. This is all factual. Okay. Let's look at it. All right. I'm not even gonna play the video because I don't care what they talking about. I want to show y'all what they did. Okay, so here we go. According to Sac County Crime Stoppers, the reward is $28,400 for this white dude right here that's been missing since November. Okay, do you know where they got the money from? That includes $25,000 that the Sac County Board of Supervisors approved from its allotment of Federal American Rescue Plan funding. They funded $25,000 to offer a reward for this white man. But we can't even get y'all to host the money that we're raising for Mr. Blake. Let that sink in. They use ARPA funds.
Wow.
To put up money to find this man, to offer a reward to find this man.
And Brother Sherman, they put it in the context that a crime.
And
right.
The context is a crime.
Right. Right.
And you know the story with Brother Blake, man, the signs indicate that he was abducted.
That's what
kidnapped.
Damn Skippy.
Right. And what did he say? You would think Willie Barty, Tommy Warren, John Ewing would leverage their relationship with the Omaha police to get answers for the community. Again,
Exactly.
they're not gonna do nothing. And so here we are with an 80-year-old man missing in our community. We can't get nobody to help us. You know, when that Kruger lady went missing, they brought out infrared planes, they brought out dogs, everything within the first day of her missing. They didn't even tell us Mr. Blake was missing for 10 days. Okay. And I'm pointing this out to y'all so y'all can understand this is not no fairy tale. This is not La La Land. This is real life war against us. We're in a war.
Not only that, remember, Sherman, keep in mind that when I asked them 4 days after my dad went missing, could they get a bloodhound or a cadaver dog or a canine out there? They said that they couldn't because they had to outsource for it, but they waited 16 days before they did something. And it wasn't even it was a cadaver dog. They was looking for a dead body.
Right. And then they brought out a canine at first. And I'm like, so is this a cadaver dog for bodies or what is it? Oh, this is a drug dog. So you brought a dog out to make us think you're doing something. Just any old dog, because niggas is so stupid, they think we not going to recognize the difference. And I'm like,
because I had a piece of my dad's clothing. They said, oh, this ain't that type of dog. What kind of dog did y'all bring?
It has all the signs of being kidnapped and abducted.
Right.
He's been taken away.
Right. Because there's no way we shouldn't be able to find an 80-year-old man that you say walked away.
Exactly. How far is he going to walk? Even with dementia, how far is he going?
And according to the caregiver who reported him missing, the son-in-law, he said within 30 minutes, somebody was already on their way to go care for him. But instead of going there, they went to his apartment, seen it was open. His wallet and his keys was on the table. The door was unlocked. And she said she drove around looking for him within the 30 minutes. And we're talking about you're supposed to be there to caregive for him, right? I want to show y'all. Look at this. This is Mr. Blake's toilet. You see that? That's not clean. Who's caregiving? Who's cleaning over there? ENOA dropped the ball. But ENOA is still in business right now to this day. Okay? This is a whole human life we're talking about.
And had the police questioned the caregivers, interrogated them?
Not no interrogation. No, sir. Not an interrogation. No, sir. They just talked to them, and that's it. And they said that, Sherman, we don't want to interrogate them because we don't want to lose their ability to communicate with us.
But they're supposed to conduct an investigation. You have to interrogate. That's what the police do.
According to them, there's no sign of a crime, so they can't do an interrogation.
Let me put it to you like this. I asked a simple question. I said, how would you handle it if it was one of your loved ones? I asked this question 3 different times. Do you know I have yet to get a response for that?
No response. And Shonda, how have life been for you?
It's been difficult. It's been very difficult. I mean, it's going on 7 months. I keep track every day. I update to keep track of how many days that my dad has been gone. And even still, that's just a guesstimate. That's not accurate. That's just a guesstimate. Me counting these days and trying to keep a positive mindset. It's a constant struggle. Trying to keep my emotions in check. Because I'm right now. I'm really about to. I feel like I want to explode, but I have to keep my cool until you know, this is all said, done, and over, I'm keeping everything in check. Like I told Sherman, after it's all said and done, it's all coming out.
Right. And Brother Mario said we need to put our own investigators on this. That's pretty much what we are. We are the investigators. We've undug everything, but the problem is, without the police cooperating, like Brother Penn said, they need to be interrogated, not just questioned.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be interrogated. Okay? And if they interrogate them, because if we do it, they can call the police on us and say we harassing them. So we can't do it. Even if we got a private investigator, they wouldn't even be able to do it. Right now, and so somebody just mentioned that a private investigator is going to be to undig what we've already undug, which is the lie about the video, right? The lie about what day he left, and knowing that the caregivers was the ones who didn't take care of him as far as his meds. We found a receipt in his trash can from August 15th from a Burger King drive-thru. Once we looked at the tape, we realized who it was, which was one of the caregivers that drove through that Burger King drive-thru and brought food back to Mr. Blake on August 15th. Okay? So now it's back on the police to bring these people in, put them in an interrogation room, and let them squirm.
Mm-hmm.
Let them squirm. And so, Malik, the reason why we can't move forward with a litigation, because we have no body. We have no way of saying this is what happened. And we can't move forward with a litigation without a death certificate. That woman whose son went missing, he was autistic and he went missing from the school, they still ain't allow her to sue the school because she don't have his body. And that's crazy to me. And OPD ain't doing nothing. And so I did contact the FBI, Mario, and guess what they told me? They can't go off the request of a citizen. It has to be the police that calls in the FBI.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
I contacted them. Trust me. And I did a whole report. They took it all over the phone. And they told me that it has to be the police that say that they are out of options and they need some further help with investigating.
Yep.
So this is what is going on, y'all. This is not no fairy tale. This is not La La Land. We need everybody, for one, to be on all of this stuff, but understanding when we start these next search parties for Mr. Blake, they're going to be very strategic. And I have a plan, and I will share that plan with y'all once we get close to the time when we're going to start doing these searches. Because there's an area that we're going to search that I believe that he may be close to. Okay? And he said, what about suing ENOA since it's a private business? That can be done through the fact of them not doing his medical records. Correct. Yeah. But, you know, you really don't want to show your hand too early.
And we need to go after ENOA's license. We need to put them out of, we need to put them out of business.
We need to put them out of business.
We have people in your care that disappear.
Right.
They need to be put out of business. No one is safe. No one is safe with them.
Clearly, if they're not doing his meds, and the last day was July 28th. So did y'all stop giving him his meds that caused his dementia reaction? Is that what happened?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Or were y'all still billing, like one of the sisters said, you billing for the meds and really not even giving them to him, and wasn't nobody ever even coming to check on him? What was really happening? We have to question everybody because everybody's suspect at this point.
Especially the ENOA. I mean, he was in their care.
And you know, I'm wondering when they was really there, because like I show Sherman them my call logs. Do you know the last time I spoke with my dad was June? I called from June up until I found out when he was missing. I didn't even know. I could never get no answer, because usually when my dad answered, I would call like 3 times back to back before he would answer. But I had called. I've been calling 4 or 5 times a week. Couldn't get no answer. So who was really there taking care of him?
Yeah, and for those that don't know, Shonda live in Georgia. So when he did come up missing, and they actually didn't tell her he was missing until 4 days after, she came to Omaha. She contacted me. She came to Omaha, and we've been on it since. And like I said, the initial detective actually wasn't doing nothing. It got so bad that I had to finally use my card that I've been having, which is the direct number to the chief. And I called him on his personal phone and told him everything that I'm telling y'all. And he assigned 4 new detectives to the case. And it took all that just for us to even get the 4 new detectives. Okay. I'm just telling y'all, this is not what they sitting up here telling y'all. And then all this, he got on the bus and all this. These are rabbit hole statements to send y'all away from the fact that they not doing their job. Those are sending y'all down the rabbit hole. Okay. And Mario said they're hiring anyone to be home health aides. I had a cousin who would leave his client to come to the clubhouse. Wow.
Yep. Yep. They basically, man, they destroyed that industry and they totally privatized it now. Because they were raping the people, molesting the people, abusing the people, assaulting them, wasn't giving them meds, and that whole industry basically collapsed here. And now you're seeing all these private people that are involved, and they're just hustling.
It's just a hustle. It's just a hustle. And you see what Mario said, people was leaving their clients to come to the clubhouse. He in the motorcycle gang. So yeah, they leaving the clients to come hang out.
Mm-hmm.
That what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to let y'all know that Brother Terry, me and Terry worked hard all week, and we were able to open an account at American National Bank in order to collect our own reward funds in order to offer a reward for any information leading to Mr. Blake's whereabouts. So if y'all want to be a part of that, all you got to do is go to the American National Bank, say you want to deposit money for the Levi Blake Foundation, okay? And that's going to help us collect our own reward money to get money in order for us to offer money, because somebody knows something. He didn't just disappear. Okay? So at American National Bank right there on 30th is where you can do that at. And like Shell said, they don't care. Lit Pics photo booth. There are several entities that can and should be brought in to the know. DHHS, Maximus, and Medicaid. That's right. The authorities didn't create that award. We had to. Now, I just talked to Detective Shragi, who was the lead detective on this, and he said he's trying to work on something where the white man that was missing a few months after Mr. Blake already got 25 grand. But for us, it has to be a try. Okay. Let's not remember who we dealing with. I mean, let's not forget who we dealing with and remember where we are. We're in Nebraska.
Yep.
The Corn Huskers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Remember where we are. Mario said, I'm heading to work, but let me know what you need from me and the club. I will definitely host a few fundraisers. That would be great. And if anybody want to do that kind of stuff, you just let us know when and where. We'll help promote it. We'll help share it. And if you're raising the money to drop down at the bank, that'll be great, because clearly we have to look out for ourselves. There's nobody coming to save us. Okay? We have to look out for ourselves.
And the nonprofits that just received all these ARPA funds need to put some money into the search and a reward, because I mean, if white people can do that, how come we can't use our ARPA funds to do the same thing?
Yep.
Go.
Yep.
And so I seen a post on LinkedIn where Willie Barney was talking about they're having another meeting to talk about the money that everybody got. And I jumped on the post and I said, how about instead of doing that, you let the people know that's there that Mr. Blake is still missing, share the flyer, and y'all start collecting money. And he responded with, Sherman, I have shared the flyer on my page. So I went to his page and he shared that flyer one time in 7 months. Okay. So then I did talk to him and he said he's going to do something. So we're going to see. We're going to hold you to accountability because you want to act like you're for the community. Then let's see that you're for the community. And this ain't about calling nobody out. I'm letting y'all just know the conversation that I had because I'm very transparent. I don't got nothing to hide. Okay. And the conversation is on LinkedIn. So you can see it there. Okay. But this is what we're doing right now. We have to create our own, and like she said with Lit Picks, where she said that we have way too many resources that we need to pull together to be heard. Absolutely. When are we going to make this happen? Absolutely. I love action-orientated people. I love you, sister. When are we going to make this happen? Absolutely right. So anybody who want to put together some funds, you let us know. Anybody that want to put together something that's going to contribute to the reward fund, because the larger the reward, the more people get to run in their mouth. And we are going to not stop until we find out what happened to Mr. Blake. Malik says, show up to his weekly meetings and have him address it in front of the nonprofits and the police. That's correct. He said, are the churches involved? They have manpower to help. And she answered that for you, Malik. If the church is not getting something for it, they're not going to do anything.
Well, Mount Moriah Church received $3.5 million.
Woo! Taking
money from the Black businesses as a nonprofit. Okay. $3.5 million. They're on the list. And matter of fact, that same preacher, Brother Sherman, sits on the NAACP board. He was the same one that wouldn't protect our rights when we were harassed by the racist intent to remove us from the parade. Remember that same preacher?
Wow.
Yes, sir. He got the very first Juneteenth parade when them white people was threatening to shoot up the parade, and we had 50 kids with us, and we brought our own guns to protect the children. And the NAACP is the ones who put the police on us to move us out the parade because we came with our firearms to protect the children.
Well, he also got $3.5 million as a nonprofit for the church. So he need definitely cut a check for the search for Mr. Blake.
There you go. And
that's we need to let him know, what would Jesus do, my brother?
Right.
That's what needs to happen. What would Jesus do?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this is the latest flyer. I know it's a lot of the same information, but the reason why I keep recreating the flyers is because I don't want y'all to get stale. I don't want y'all to think, oh, we found him. No, I created this one to let y'all know that he is still missing. 80-year-old Levi Blake, missing since August 17th. And J.C. Wade Villa, you know who owned J.C. Wade Villa, Brother Shabazz?
Who?
Salem Church. Have they offered any money for a reward for Mr. Blake? No. So,
well, we know that that preacher that sits on the board of NAACP, and he also has that Mount Moriah Church. He's also Willie Barney's close buddy. He got $3.5 million too.
Yeah.
Sorry about that accident to cut myself off.
Oh no, you good. And you got to remember, see, Mr. Blake, he called himself Pone. He was a gangster. He looked at himself like that. You know what I mean? He carried himself a certain way, with dignity, with pride. So when they start talking about him jumping on a bus, that was not happening. Okay. This man drove jitney in Omaha for over 20 years. He's well known. Okay. And like the brother said, if you got a man who is running the church, you the head of the NAACP, which I say never assisting any colored people. That's what NAACP means. But you the head of the NAACP. Your church just got $3.5 million of the community money that was supposed to go to black businesses. Why are you not offering any kind of help for a reward fund? The church is coming out for the search party, anything for Mr. Blake. Okay. And Miss Janelle said they ain't putting it in the church. They buying foreign cars and mansions.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's where we at, y'all. And you know, I'm gonna do my best to try to stay consistent with y'all every Sunday because there's so many developing stories in this town that I have to get it out to y'all so y'all can know. But then every Sunday, I go to Assembly of the Saints where the people there, not only are they praying for me, they're being supportive, and that's where I can release some of this stuff because it would weigh me down if I didn't have nowhere to release it at, you know. And I recently just had to help. I got a call about a woman whose son was in jail. When the father visited him, he looked super sick. And then next thing you know, they couldn't find him for days. Literally, I checked everywhere for that young man. And they finally found him yesterday, I think, in the hospital. Okay. It's the same playbook when it comes to us. Okay. And right now, and I will be able to expose this other story soon, but there's a 6-year-old girl. She's a white girl, 6 years old, who was touched by a 17-year-old. But his father is an arms dealer in Gretna, and the police won't do nothing to him. What? And the girl, not only did she tell the school, she told Project Harmony, she told therapists. I got all the documents, y'all, and I'm going to bring it to y'all as soon as I get one more piece. But the 6-year-old baby expressed herself. But what I found out was the father is an arms dealer, and probably most of the police there is buddy with him. We ain't from Gretna, so I don't give 2 fucks about him. But the moment I get this last document, I'm going to bring y'all that whole story. Because, again, here we got people covering up something just because of a position of a person in the community. Okay? And I did tell the Douglas County Sheriff because there was an incident that happened at the border of Douglas and Sarpy County. And you know what he did? It's not in my district. It got to go to Sarpy County. He won't do nothing with it. Okay? A 6-year-old baby. Not only did he touch her, but he pulled a pistol on the 10-year-old sister and told her not to tell. The 10-year-old sister went to school and they had a day where they let them write poems and read it out loud. And the 10-year-old sister read the poem out loud she started reading it and they shutted her up because she started talking about the dude pulling the gun on her, the 17-year-old. And then when I went and looked at his TikTok, guess what? He on TikTok with guns. You know, his dad's an arm dealer. They scared of him. Okay?
That's crazy.
So I just want y'all to know there is multiple things. And it's not just about color. It's about the government versus the people. The billionaires versus the people. The lack of accountability versus the people, y'all. And we the people. And the government was set up. We vote these people in. So we got to start voting them out. And like she said, the power of who you know and what they do. Absolutely. That's what it comes down to. And that 6-year-old baby has nobody to advocate for her. And once we get the full documents, me and a few brothers, we're going to go meet her so she knows that we here for her. Because it's not going to go unchecked and I'm not going to let it go. Same with Mr. Blake. We're not letting this go. So if you want to hold a fundraiser to raise money for Mr. Blake, contact me and we got it. We're going to put it together. And you right, Cynthia. Devils and demons. Okay? And God got people here. We here. And the war has been old since the oldest days of time, good versus evil. Either you a good spirit or a bad spirit. That's it.
Right.
And we dealing with a lot of bad spirited people, but we here and we got to start being more vocal. We got to start uniting like this and form that mighty fist to knock this stuff off the pedestal because it can't go unchecked. So I appreciate brothers like Brother Shabazz. I appreciate Shonda for not folding up into a corner because, like Terry said, not knowing where Levi is worth his death itself because we don't even know where he's at. That's worse than knowing that he's dead and put him in the grave and we get to have a service for him. We can't even do that. Okay? Shonda, you got something else you want to say before we go?
I just want to encourage everybody to get more involved, to the extent that you can, to help us bring resolve to the situation because, like I stated on my post, yes, it's about my dad, but it's about all of us because it could be any one of our elders or any one of us that are in the same situation. So we need to stand together, unified as a community, and show them what we're about.
Right.
And we have to constantly, brother, place value on our lives.
Right. We have to. And like Gwen said, it break her heart. She tired of the racist system and black leaders keep the pressure up. To be fair, does the pastor know about the fund? Did anyone sit down with him and ask for a donation? Well, with Mr. Blake having over 20 news stories, I'm sure he knows he's missing.
Right.
I've emailed him personally and handed him flyers personally. There's never been an offer of any help at all. So yeah, he got the money. He knows Mr. Blake is missing. So what, we got to go in there begging like this on our knees?
Right.
$3.5 million, like the brother said, of community money that was supposed to go for the businesses. Mm-hmm. And you just clearly seen that they used $25,000 for an ARPA fund for the missing white man in Iowa. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what do we have to do to get money for Mr. Blake? Right. So, Sean, I'm gonna let you go. Me and Brother Shabazz gonna wrap this up. But I appreciate you jumping on the live all the way from Georgia, and sharing with us your feelings. And we're gonna continue to pray for you to be able to stay in your safe space. I know you've been having to go back to work, even though your father is still missing, and I know that has to be really hard to go to work, do your job, not knowing where your dad is at. So I commend you, sister. I love you to death. You know, me and you go so far back. And when you called me and you was crying, it touched me so bad. Not only that, but this is an elder in our community, and it shouldn't just be one certain person or one small group of people that's trying to make a difference or look for Mr. Blake. It needs to be all of us. And so when I put out that call, then we did get the 40 people to put that video together, and that's what made the police reactivate. And we have to continue to do stuff like that and create stories and things like that, and show them that we're not going to let it go in order for it to happen. Because what I've noticed with missing person cases is that the pressure always comes from the family and the community to make them do their job.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to keep making them do their job, Shonda.
Yep.
All right.
Know it. Yes, like I said, you already know how many trips I made up there. I said, just let me know when you need me to come back. Yes, ma'am. We will. All right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Okay. Yes. Yep. You have a good one. All right, bro. All right. Peace. Appreciate you. Bye. Yep. So, yeah. And now, what she say? Lit photo booth. She said mental health law includes a wide variety of legal topics and pertain to people with diagnosis or possible diagnosis of mental health conditions. To those involved in managing or treating Mr. Blake should be held accountable. Laws that relate to mental health and care and the care of individuals have been broken. That's right. And right, wife, we are in this together, 100%. Before we wrap it up, Brother Shabazz and I
we have been having this conversation about Ernie Chambers putting his hat back in to run for District 11 against Terrell. And although I've spoken with Ernie and he said it's really not being against Terrell, it's doing things that he feels is necessary. Brother Shabazz had some good points that he made earlier, and I want him to share that with y'all. Okay.
Well, brother, my issue with it is, first of all, I love Ernie. He's been fighting for a lot of us, man, when we were wearing diapers and we couldn't even talk. And so he's also proved himself to be a sure-footed soldier, a sure-footed fighter for us. Okay. My issue with it is, why is he not building up the bench? Why is he not counseling Terrell McKinney instead of coming back where we end up splitting votes? That makes no sense to me at all. And not only that, brother, his time actually has passed. I mean, what is he, 86?
86.
86. And not only that, I mean, he can get in the legislature and he passed, and then they're going to give us what? A redneck Republican to represent us? Not only that, brother, we don't need to remove a younger lion that's already fighting.
Right.
What are we going to be doing to Terrell McKinney? Discard him? Tell him to come back later on?
Right.
So that, to me, I'm just curious as to why he wants to do this. Okay, we should be multiplying Ernie Chambers. We should have a quiet strategy room, brother, where he is developing and multiplying himself into 10 to 20 more Ernie Chambers.
Right.
Okay. And so I have issues with it, man, because we have issues with older people becoming narcissistic and not passing the torch when we need to. And I hope this is not the case. I don't know what his motives are. Okay. But to impromptu, okay, we're going to remove Terrell and we're going to split the votes and then we're going to have young versus the old. We don't need that, man.
We don't.
We don't need that.
And Sister Cynthia said it's ego.
I don't know what it is. But here's the thing about Ernie, man. He appears to be one speed. Okay. A lion and a jaguar are different. If you look at our ancestors, brother, the Kahari Heb, or the high priest, the voice of the king, they would wear the jaguar skin. The jaguar is actually the most intelligent cat.
Mm.
He will avoid a confrontation when he has to.
Right.
The lion is more combative. And we need to understand the difference between a warrior and a soldier. And we need to be fluid and know which behavior requires what. Okay. And wisdom, brother, is a natural thing. It's like the wetness in the water. You have to know when. Okay. And so I don't see what is the purpose, how it is advantageous for us as a community to have votes split it between him and Terrell, especially when Terrell has been open and receptive and wanting to learn from him.
Right. Well, Jamila said it's a distraction, but Sister Cheryl Weston said it does not make any difference whether it's Senator Ernie Chambers or Senator McKinney. The governor has the right to replace the senator in the Nebraska legislature.
Well, I mean, but what if Ernie dies?
She said Cynthia said he should share his wisdom, and Cousins Tierra said now isn't the time for political shenanigans. Ernie needs to come in and back Terrell up and help guide him.
Well, and that's the big operative question for me. Not just Terrell. How come Ernie has not been building up the bench all these years?
Malik said a third party candidate is going to come in and swoop in and win by a small margin.
Exactly.
So yeah, I did want to bring Ernie on. I don't know if I'm still going to or not because he said he don't want to campaign, and I don't know if he's going to look at this as a form of campaigning. But we'll continue this conversation because by next Sunday I should have more answers. And I would like, Brother Shabazz, if you would like, when I do these Sunday sermons with Sherman, that you come on and still give me your input on this stuff, because it does take more than one person to do all this stuff. And it's going to take all of us as far as a community. Like Brother Malik said, we need a succession plan for Black Omaha. And that's what needs to happen right now. We need a plan.
Well, exactly, brother. I mean, from what I've been seeing in the research, all these different people, all these different boards. Another thing that we need to be aware of, like that article that they just did on Juanita, between her and the mayor not getting along. Okay. Notice that they brung Ben Gray's sentiments in the article.
Which he has nothing to do with nothing.
He has nothing to do with that situation. He's not even in office. So why are you concerned with what he thinks about it?
Right.
And then I read his quotes. He sounded like he said, well, people use the race card when there's nothing else to use. I mean, what are you saying, brother? You're saying Black people are delusional and crazy, and we don't know when white people are being racist?
Right.
Okay. Isn't that amazing? And here's the thing about it, bro. We have to understand this. Okay. We can get into the issues about Juanita. I think that Juanita right now, we need to have a powwow. Her constituents need to have a conversation with her on what they expect from her. So there can be this process of reciprocity so we can protect her and work with her. Because she was targeted in the beginning. And the reason she was targeted in the beginning was because there was this shock from the power structure when the community decided to send Ben back on their lap.
Right.
Okay. Here's a history behind this, brother. Okay. Ernie Chambers and Ben Gray were instrumental in protecting the community defensively, not offensively. When I say offensively, I'm talking about them having economics on their radar and understanding that economics is a weapon as well. They didn't have the economic piece, but what they did have, they had masculinity, and they were registered as independents, nonpartisans, and they protect the community. They did that very well. Okay. Now, Senator Chambers, I think, which is one of his greatest piece of legislation, he put together a bill where we would have control of our own school district. Okay. Now let's take a look at that logically. Ben was helping him even write the verbiage for it. Michael Yanni and Susie Buffett, particularly Susie Buffett, separated Ben and Ernie, financed Ben. Ben put on the Democrat, the Democrat hat, got on the liberal plantation. They put a leash on them and they separated Ben and Ernie. And the gentrification process began.
Absolutely. And when you look at what he said people run to the race when they have nothing else that they can point out. Gray said he and the mayor had a productive working relationship and often met several times to talk politics. So again, they're setting it up like, well, y'all mad about the mayor and Juanita not getting along, but I can get along with the mayor. And Ms. Weston said it shouldn't be assumed that Ernie Chambers, because he placed his name on the ballot, it don't mean he gonna win. Where are the supporters for McKinney? Get out and push for McKinney, for Senator McKinney. It's not over until the vote, and she's absolutely right.
Yeah, she's absolutely right, man. And also, Ernie has a right to run.
He do, and I respect it. And Wanda said, "Don't forget that Ben called Juanita when Ben was city councilwoman." Oh, what?
Well, he called her the B word.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He called her out her name and called her a bitch.
People come from Juanita Johnson at her first meeting and all the press conference and articles. They did not include her. Lavanya Goodwin was one who set the tone at the first council meeting. Right.
So what they've done, brother, is Juanita's going to have to be a lot wiser. She was already set up to be impeded where she can't govern and she can't assist us. Okay. Ben Gray was one of their rubber stampers.
Yeah.
Okay. And I remember when Ben Gray used to be organic.
Right.
Okay. Also, brother, reading that article, how he describes the new wave of politicians.
Right. He said Johnson is a part of a wave of newly elected politicians that don't understand how to be effective in government. Wow.
Now, hear what he's not saying, brother, is now here's the thing about it. He's speaking in the third person. He's talking about us to them.
Yeah.
He's describing a type of political mentality that's not acceptable to them.
Right. Right.
We're not rubber stampers.
Right.
Okay. All right. And here's another thing, brother. Mike Maroney hired the best constitutional lawyer out of New York, had him study the unicameral to specifically bring in term limits to remove Senator Chambers. Okay. If you want someone who protects us, remove, obviously you want to harm us.
I think we lost you.
Can you hear me?
No, you breaking up. Oh, there you go. You pop back in. Are you back?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
A little bit. Let me see. You kind of skipping around. Am I skipping around too? Or is it just him? I will share this with y'all though. I did go to a Republican convention the other day, and they were pretty mad that Ernie Chambers said he was running again. So I don't know. They like him too well. So yeah, but
Brother Sherman.
they just dropped us. They dropped us all from the from the live. There you go. Yeah, she said the sound going out. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Well, they might be disrupting us, brother. Hey, man, they banned me for going live on Facebook for 30 days. They don't like my comments, man.
Yeah. That's why we have to. That's why I started using StreamYard, so I didn't have to rely on Facebook as a platform, because they did it to me too many times. So I got tired of it. She said, we as a people are conditioned to go against our own. This way of thinking doesn't change because of the titles that we hold. That's right. And so we got to make sure that we stay in focus. And like Miss Wanda said, let's not lose focus on what we need to do, because this could possibly just be a distraction. And like Miss Weston said, we'll let the votes determine who win that. But for now, all the things that we are dealing with, we're going to make sure we stay on top of that. And like Brother Shabazz said, we're not going to worry about the sheep. We're going to focus on waking up the lions. Okay.
Exactly.
And so hopefully we're definitely going to jump back in here next week with some more stuff for y'all. And she said a lot of people will be upset if the mayor runs again. But yeah, we're going to keep addressing these issues. And like I told y'all, that story with the 6-year-old, once I get other paperwork, I'll be able to bring y'all that story, not only with documentation from doctors, therapists, Project Harmony, the teachers, everybody who's this baby done told this to. It's going to blow your mind how they plan this family just because of that. Malik said we're losing focus because we don't have an agenda or strategic plan on holding people accountable. But accountability right now is starting with us because it's been too many years of turning the other cheek. So accountability is what this look like. So we're going to get out of here. We had an hour and 45 minutes, probably, again, one of the longest lives I've done. But I might just set it for 2 hours, and we might just do it every Sunday at 8 o'clock so everybody can get their daytime stuff out their system, and we be able to run this right before the news come on if y'all still watch the news. Okay? All right. And she said, Malik, how can we come together and change this? One man can't do it. You're absolutely right, sister. And that's why we waking up the lions. A lot of the things that you see me doing, it's not just me. I'm getting fed information from multiple people. I might be the voice, but the information I'm receiving is from a lot of people doing a lot of research. And some people have jobs to hold and all that stuff. And I do want to share something with y'all real quick before I jump off. Okay. I was actually working a job for Marriott for the last 5 years. I got took off of work in 2020. And the doctor took me off work because of my neck injury and my spine injury. And it's so bad that when the doctor came in, he told me, he said, when he met me, according to my scans, that I shouldn't be able to even be up, turning my neck or moving my arms, okay? But when God is working with you, then you can't gauge how a person is going to be when God is using you, okay? So I don't have a job. No, I'll get my money from the clothes that I sell and the side jobs I do, whether it's photography. I don't charge people for the advocacy work I do, but I just want y'all to know that on paper, I'm supposed to be a stiff board. But when you see me, you'll never notice that what I'm going through is pain every day. I don't take the pain pills because I don't like how they make me feel. I don't like Percocets. They give me them. You know, they still just sit in my house. I don't take them. Okay. And according to the scans, I shouldn't even be able to do what I'm doing, but I'm doing it because God is using me. God is using us. He's using us as a collective, and we have to stay focused on what we're doing. And this is one time I'm going to share something personal with y'all. I usually don't, but I just want y'all to know that everybody is going through something. But we can't let that be a reason for us to not pay attention to what's going on around us. Because again, like Brother Penn said, we are leaving our children for failure if we don't do or say something right now. Okay. And since I haven't been working since 2020, I've probably been published, newspaper, media, and all that over 30 to 40 times for the advocacy work. Okay. And it's not something that I asked for. I don't send out press releases to tell the people to come. They just happen to catch me doing the work. That's all. Okay. And it's all out of love for y'all. I love y'all. I work for the community. And I know that it's an underserved community, so I don't expect pay. But if anybody is willing to donate to Untamed, then you can do that. But if you're willing to really donate, let's get Mr. Blake's fund up so we can offer a reward money for him. Okay? All right. I love y'all. Piece of hair grease. Please stay tuned. Please be a voice. If y'all want to call ENOA and ask them why didn't they make sure Mr. Blake was getting his medicine, flood their phone. Okay? Do whatever y'all think y'all need to do, and we're going to put more plans in place, and we're going to keep updating y'all every Sunday. Every Sunday. Sunday sermons with Sherman. All right? Peace, y'all.
Peace, brother.